Welcome back to the Summer Learning Series. Today's topic hits close to home because it's something I see in nearly every speaker audit that we do. The words might be polished, the visuals might be strong, but if your message, your core isn't clear, you're basically invisible. And that's why I've invited Trudi back, our copywriting and positioning strategist here at Pibworth PS, the woman behind some of the sharpest speaker messaging I have ever seen. Trudy spent years working with a prominent speakers bureau, so she knows firsthand what makes a message connect or fall flat. And today we're digging into the invisible speaker problem, why clarity always beats cleverness, and how to tell if your copy is quietly costing you bookings. So I am so glad to have you back, Trudy.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You and I both know that clarity can make or break a speaker's message, but when you're diving into someone's website or speaker one sheet or whatever material they have, what are the signs that the messaging is missing the mark or just not clicking at all?
So, I mean, and you'll know it too. Like, if you have a website and you do not have analytics in there,
Mm,
you should look at your analytics. See how long people hang out on your pages, because the best copy in the world is going to be engaging. And how it's going to be engaging is it's going to connect with whoever's reading it, or, if it's a video, listening to it. And I think some of the biggest issues that I've seen that speakers do is that they get so up in their own head and in their own jargon. There's this real push, I think, where the idea is like, you have to, it's like, different is better than better, right? So that's a Sally Hogsworth, I think, said
yeah, I
that.
think so.
So it's great advice. But in the quest to become different, I've seen lots of people that try to be cutesy or have a fun little spin on something, and it falls flat. Like, if it's too convoluted and somebody really has to like dig deep, if you find yourself having to write two or three sentences to explain that cutesy thing that you just said,
Yeah,
nix it, kill
yeah.
that baby. It's out.
You shouldn't have
People
to
have to be able to get it.
explain a joke.
No, no,
Right? It either lands, it makes sense, but if I have to explain exactly what I mean by penguin,
right,
it's the wrong word.
right, right. I know. I have a fun example I brought for this one.
Oh, sure.
Okay. Because this will illustrate it so it won't be so obtuse. We're going to try hard not to be obtuse. So this is a website called Talking Shrimp. Guess what it's all about?
Talking shrimp?
Yeah, what's Talking Shrimp?
I
Not a
breakfast.
clue.
Yeah, do the
Okay.
shrimp talk? Or
Yeah,
does she
right. Exactly. So
the
it's
flea circus for shrimp?
some fun kind of inside joke that this woman, Laura Belgrade, came up with. Let me say something about Laura. She is hilarious and brilliant and rich and successful. And I don't know how big her speaking thing is, but we'll get into why she's all those things. I'm Laura. I eat words for breakfast. They stay crisp in milk. Want some? I'm like, I don't even know. Are you an editor? Like, I don't know what you do. This is her about page. So we're
Yeah.
on about Talking Shrimp. We go down, naturally fortified personality, persuasion, and profit. Now with 30% more marshmallow bits. It's funny, sort of, and nostalgic-ish, but it's kind of a mess. And she's known for being a really clever and inventive and fun and engaging copywriter. So right away she's in FAQs. She has to explain it all. I mean, are FAQs really asked? Is this how I should write my about page? I can't get it done. Ooh, meta question. Be like, okay, I'm getting her a personality. It's building on me. It's growing on me. Here's what is Talking Shrimp. Now explaining what it is. Blah 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 blah. She writes about pages and many. She's extremely successful about this. There's going to be a big reveal about why all this stuff. And I interviewed Laura once. She's hilarious. She wrote a book called Talking Tough Titties, which is hilarious, and all sorts of things. So lots of resources on her about page, not really even about her yet. And it will be later on, but like I'm scrolling. Imagine this on a phone. Imagine this
Oh,
on a phone now. I'm
I
scrolling. No, really, what's with the name? Okay, it's this, a tax strategy by our accountant. I formed a company in 2000. My husband, Steven, he's a restaurant guy. Now he's this. Oh my God, girl. Ba, ba, ba,
I
ba,
would
ba,
never make it that
ba.
long. She's
You would never.
interesting,
She's
but if
so
I'm looking for a
interesting,
copywriter, I'm not
right?
scrolling that long.
Right. Now, oh man, I want to be a shrimper. Okay, great. And like here's more about Laura. Here's her bio. She did all sorts of cool and whatever. Here at the very bottom, let's figure out why she has what is probably was probably a very expensive website to build. Is this Laura and Marie Forleo mix their smarts? She was friends with Marie Forleo, who's massive. She's the B
Oh yeah.
School. She's a huge influencer. Marie met Laura in like a workout class and was like, "You should be my copywriter." So Laura started teaching copywriting at the B School. So this is where all of this came from. And she's awesome. I really do not want to put her down at all. I absolutely think Laura Belgrade is genius. I'm a Gen Xer. She resonates with me, all of that. Girl, I do not know what you do. I have no idea what a shrimper is or why I'd want to be one. I don't even like shrimp that much. Like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
So this is a really good example of like she leaned into it and she teaches people to write how to write about pages. So she leaned into it hard. She's not afraid to have that. And I wouldn't be either if Marie Forleo was my benefactor,
Yeah,
honestly.
exactly.
Like
She's
I'd
just
be cool.
a little too clever for her own good.
Yeah. And
She's
just
trying to stand out, and all she did was confuse me.
totally. I'm totally confused. And like, if I have 20 minutes to devote to reading her about page, I'll have a few chuckles. It'll be entertaining. It'll be fun. And she's a very entertaining and fun person. When I looked at the places that she speaks, I bet she would have a million more speaking engagements if Talking Shrimp, if her name Laura Belgrade was her website and things were just straightforward. Many years ago, my background is also in marketing. I had a boss, and we had all sorts of pop culture brands like the Avengers and Monty Python's Flying Circus, and I could go nuts on some puns and silliness and over the top. And we were selling our product into it was DVDs, so we were selling that into like places like Costco and Sam's Clubs and stuff like that. Those were the buyers. It's like they got 2 seconds to make a judgment call. If I'm making like 8,000 Monty Python jokes that they may or may not know, I lost
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So my boss was like, just write the headline that says 50% off. He's like, I know it's not sexy,
Yeah.
but if you have to go into a whole explanation about the Ministry of Silly Walks, you're done.
And you're just making your buyers work too hard to get it.
Yeah.
And don't they deserve more than that? When you're looking at a speaker's website, where does clarity matter most? What parts really need to be crystal clear in order to get you booked?
Well, I think, if you look at what people really see, said the copywriter, people don't read. People don't read. But they do get their eyeballs grabbed by headlines,
Hmm.
by subheads, by calls to action. All those things need to be really clear. The value prop needs to be right there. You're going to get this if you do that. Click here. So
Right.
that and that's you could be cutesy. Ask me about shrimp. No one's clicking on ask me about shrimp. You know, um, want to grow your fan base by 125% like I did in 30 days. Yep. So it's just being direct to the point. Um, Solving the problems that the people that are coming to your page are have
Hmm.
and saying it clearly just and it is a trick because I'm not here to say don't be clever or don't be entertaining on your page. I think if you can find those spots where you can and do it because that tells your buyer something about you too. They want to book an entertaining speaker. But they also don't, they also want to book somebody that's not going to waste time
Yeah.
or is so stuck on their own, so high on their own juice,
Yeah.
gonna, do some insider funny stuff that no one understands.
They say, do I have to be funny if I want to be a speaker? And the answer is only if you want to get hired.
Right.
And there is an element of humor and realness and connection that we have to put in there, but um, we don't have to be clever, and we also don't have to be super smart, right? Those people who are trying to be inventive and those people who are just trying to showcase, I am a lot smarter than you,
Yes.
using the jargon, using as a university professor, I did this and right? I don't like you anymore.
Right.
There is that know, like, and trust that has to happen. So we've had a couple examples. Do you have examples for this one?
I'm going to share one that I think is clever, not haha clever, but clever in that and relatable. So let me go back to my share button on my da, da, da. So we know this lady, Mel Robbins. Um, so she's somebody that like even her picture is like it's kind of goofy in a way, a little bit. Like I know I'm a lady of a certain age, and when I want to look smart, I put on my glasses like that too. And that made me smile just looking at that. But when she goes here, it's like you're probably here because you want to learn about me, but before I hit you up with all this, like just it's her language. It's clever how she's doing this. So it's not jokey punny, but she's being smart about and being clever about how she connects with you right away. It's important to me that the success you see now is decades in the making. Change doesn't come this way. I ain't gonna lie, my life wasn't always glamorous. It was grueling, it was this, it was that. This is short. It's love, and she's sharing a nice thought. What's this is what smart cleverness in action is. She's clever in that she knows that she has a one-on-one relationship. She's the world's one of the world's biggest podcasters, if you don't know who she is, with multiple best-selling books. Um, and she knows that intimacy that she creates is her superpower. So
Yeah.
she uses it. That's a clever way to that's a positive way of being clever. And it's not that she's so punny, but I think of course I'm a copywriter, but the pictures she chose are funny. Like this
Hmm.
hair, come on.
Hey, I
Discover
still have
shape or
that hair
sway. The
sometimes.
higher the hair, the closer to God.
There
So
you
this is
go.
this is where she's including some clever stuff in here. No
Yeah.
comment, right?
Mm.
And you're laughing with her. And these are all personal. So she's giving you a little insight into her. And, Charlie is born, heart grows two more sizes. This gives people things to interact with that are endearing and clever and funny and relatable
Yeah.
without writing 4,000 lines of copy or sharing some long drawn out joke that people aren't in on or,
Yeah. I think for me, another thing that we absolutely have to be clear on is the what we do. Like whether you're going to call it your promise statement or whatever. But I actually pulled up a couple little examples here too. Um,
oh, we're so
so
examples heavy.
we like examples.
We love the
So
examples.
Matthew, we built this website very recently. Um, future proof your teams and transform your organization. Okay. If that's not what you want, you're going to move on, and that's okay,
Hmm.
right? But
Yep.
we get into, he's a keynote speaker. He's the crowd's favorite AI nerd. He's all these different things, which is still interesting
Right.
and cute, right?
Hmm.
We've got then we get into facts. AI is advancing at an unprecedented rate. Well, yeah, you bet it is.
Yep. And let me point
Um,
out using that word nerd, like just one word
mhm.
can convey clever because it's like, or it's not even clever, but it's a relatability. It's that's a little self-deprecation real there.
Right.
That's
He's
gonna
a
put a smile on someone's face. He's not just AI expert, he's an AI nerd. See the
well,
difference?
yeah, yeah. It brought his personality in, right? It allowed us to, because he is super smart, but he's also a nice guy. And we wanted to make sure that that was showcased there. And, we'll can toot my own horn a little bit too, if you may.
Yes, please
Um,
do.
so because we just launched my new website in January 2025, and we spent weeks just on this headline to try and realize exactly what it was that my ideal clients were looking for. So it wasn't necessarily, you know, I run a marketing agency for speakers.
Right.
That's the
Right.
what. I needed to be really clear in what my clients wanted and how I got them there. So
Right.
that's another piece that needs to be 100% clear. We can get all excited, but if I don't know you're a copywriter in the first two lines of text, you're probably being a little bit more cute than
Right.
you need to be, right?
Right. Yes. And that clarity about what do you do, and it's twofold. It's what do you do that solves your people, your ideal clients' problems. That's exactly what you just said, Lauren.
Yeah.
And that's brilliant. And that's in the prime real estate, that's the most important thing you can come up with. So don't be like, I'm like the website fixer cowboy. Like, what? I don't know what that is. I just made that up. I don't know what that is. But you know what I'm saying? Like where it would
Yeah.
be totally obtuse, you really want to, and it's not just the what I do, it's the impact it has.
Yeah,
What do you
exactly.
what do you what are you buying from me?
Yeah.
And making that crystal clear is 100% worth the price of admission. If you miss that, you miss everything.
And thinking about getting out of your own head. So again, back to my site. Um, it used to be about getting on more stages. But what we realized is that as the speaking business has evolved, not everybody wants more stages. Some people really want to do more of this, more at home stuff. And maybe they're tired of traveling and just want, you know, 20 gigs a year at 20K. Okay,
I
maybe
would
that's
like
what they
that.
wanted. And so we really drilled down and realized that the clients that I want to work with, those really focused, amazing people, what they want a better income, but they want to make a bigger impact.
Yes.
So income and impact became the key words, not more bookings, not bigger stages, not get gigs, right? It was like, oh no, the people that I want are here to start a movement, to really change the world. And there's a lot less of them.
Right.
But with my hope is that they can see that I hear them and I see them and they understand. Um, so that's kind of where we're going with the whole don't get too clever. Be well, you've said this in most of your videos. Sit with your audience,
Mhm.
understand what your audience wants, understand how you solve their problem, and that's where the clarity needs to be.
Right. And buy into it for yourself. If you do that work and you go, like you were just saying, like there might be people that just want to get booked, period. That's a lucrative audience of brand new speakers, but it may not be for you at this time. So that clarity is not, it begins at the inception. And it also is something you should periodically revisit.
Yes.
This is really important. People a lot of times with a website are like, set it and forget it. Don't do that. That's setting and forgetting your career. So that clarity, ongoing clarity, revising who you want to speak to and why, what problems they face today,
Yeah.
not back in COVID times, let's say, but right now. What
Yeah.
are they facing? And having clarity around how you what you like, what you love doing means that your copy can evolve, but it will always be fresh.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, so if someone is watching this video and thinking, okay, maybe my stuff is a little muddy, we've talked about what they can do, and if they're still unsure whether their copy is truly working or if it's just good enough, how do you think they know when it's time to bring in a pro? Like, how do you know whether you can do it or whether it's time to bring in someone of your caliber?
I mean, I think that the big thing is really trying to see, like, you kind of know if your materials aren't really working because no one's booking you or you're not getting the bookings that you want or once did. It's always helpful for you to ask a peer or a
Mm-hmm.
friend, a buyer if you can, if you have those relationships, and just say, can you just give me, can we get on a call or even just take a look? Tell me what you think I do. Tell me what I do that's not coming across. Like, what's your impression about what I do? I actually just did this with a client and it was like really interesting. It's like when she pulled back, she was like, I have a bunch of cute and funny stuff on there and it doesn't say anything to anyone. I'm so embarrassed. And then you can be, if you can say those words out of your own mouth, hire a
Yeah.
professional. Let that person help you because they can see you from such a different purview. And you're going to pay them to do the legwork to understand what their ideal clients really want
Mm-hmm.
and what you have that, that will solve their problems. So, it can start with like simple conversations with, people that you trust. Not your spouse or your kids or something that don't really understand what you do, because they'll just be like, yeah, it's
Oh,
fine. Like
yeah.
like someone in your field, someone who knows your gig, knows what you're trying to do, a colleague,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, someone who's bought from you before. Um, Something like that. Like we have a client that we just finished a gig with, and he asked a recent buyer what they were looking for, and a person he does workshops, so he asked a recent buyer what they look for in a keynote speaker, and she gave him really good feedback, and none of it was on his existing site. And it was things like, we hired a guy once and he had this kind of canned talk and he didn't customize it to our audience and they didn't know what he was talking about, stuff like that. So it's like, okay, so I should say very clearly on my site, I customize all, like, these are just the jumping off point. I customize my presentation. So that's just one example of like really great information that wasn't on his current site,
Right.
that is on his new
Exactly.
site. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So if you've asked your friends, and you know that there's some work to do and you're feeling stuck, then the other option would be to contact us at Pibworth and have us walk through your site and do a positioning audit, a website audit, and really help you understand where you're missing the mark and decide if it's time for a copywriting change. So there'll be a link to do that below the video. So I invite you to take part, and we're here to help. That's our goal. So I hope you've enjoyed this summer learning session, and we'll see you in your inbox soon. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.